starting to get a little freaky. Hey, if you want to know how the coronavirus is going to affect real estate, this is the video for you. We're going to dive right into it. Stick around. Hey everybody, Logan and Williamson here, representing Williamson Professional Real Estate Sales. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Hey, if you're looking for all information real estate related, I'm a local real estate agent here. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. If you've stopped by the channel before, if you find this content valuable, give us a like, subscribe. I'd love to have you around. But hey, in this video, we're going to talk about everything that you need to know about the coronavirus in relation to the real estate market. A lot of people are speculating that things are going to happen in an even more crazy manner than they already have started to. But we're going to discuss it in this video. If you're looking at buying or selling real estate, how is this coronavirus, this pandemic, going to affect the process and maybe your decision making moving forward? Make sure you stick around till the end because we're going to discuss it all here. All right, so if you've been watching the news, you know that this thing is really becoming not only a crazy pandemic, but this is mass hysteria. Yes, it's an election year. Yes, as of right now, there have been over 144,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19, the coronavirus, and regardless of what time you're watching this now, at this current moment that I'm filming this, it is March 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020, and things are getting a little bit out of control. Now, if you've gone to your local Costco's, if you've gone to grocery stores, if you have been out and about trying to purchase groceries, trying to purchase meat, trying to purchase amenities for the household, you know that things are running very scarce at this point based on people's perception that the entire planet is going to be basically quarantined inside of their homes at some point in the very near future. If you've been looking into some of the facts as of right now, the NBA has canceled the rest of the 2020 season. The NCAA has canceled the March Madness and basically the NCAA tournament. My heart goes out to all the poor seniors, both male and female basketball players who were basically anticipating this journey through the NCAA tournament being their opportunity to get looked at from all these professional scouts. So for all you athletes out there, for all you folks that are really being affected by this, things that could potentially affect the rest of your life from a career standpoint, my heart really goes out to you, along with all of the victims who are suffering and those who have friends and family that are suffering directly or indirectly from what is now a global, a big thing globally that's really affecting everyone. What's going on with this COVID-19 coronavirus? Well, what they're saying is that it originated over somewhere in Southeast Asia at a live animal market. It was transmitted to human beings, and from there, the outbreak began. We have basically cruise lines that are being quarantined, sitting in the harbors, like over in Oakland, for instance, with people unable to actually get off the ships. They're telling medical professionals now, they're basically, the Department of Health is denying medical professionals even tests to see if they test positive for the virus, simply because regardless, infected or not, they're requiring them to work. It's absolutely unimaginable, some of the things that we're seeing here, but is this all hype? Is it speculation? Time will tell. Is it a life-threatening disease? Certainly. We've seen a number of different deaths, actually over 5,000 globally at this point. We're starting to see some professionals, some medical doctors who have dedicated their lives to basically getting out in front and preventing some of these viral infections and sicknesses going global. And what they're saying is now it's not just an elderly person's sickness that we need to watch out for. The reason why is because usually elderly people are the ones with compromised immune systems. If they get infected by a virus that compromises the immune system further, you are more likely at that point, of course, to get more severe things like pneumonia that can ultimately cause death. What we're seeing is the same type of a process happen now in even mid to late 40-year-olds and all over the board. It's just something that now globally we understand this is something that does need to be taken very seriously. Regardless of what your opinion is, if you're affected, if you know somebody that's affected, if you're currently quarantined, if local businesses are shutting down, what you need to know about the coronavirus in relation to the real estate market are a couple different important details, and I want you to consider these moving forward if you're considering buying or selling real estate anytime in the near future. Okay, so what's actually happening here? What are we looking at? We're looking at a stock market that is basically turned into a bear market as opposed to what has been a bull market for quite some time. Not overnight, but what seems to be overnight. We're looking at schools that have shut down. We're looking at massive organizations like the NCAA, NBA that have basically canceled huge revenue producing events for the rest of the year just as a safety precaution. A lot of corporate companies are shutting down. A lot of offices are shutting down. Schools for the kiddos have been shut down through the beginning of April at this point, which is unimaginable for a lot of parents who still cannot afford to take the time off work or don't have the opportunity. So what's happening here? Well, in regards to home values, there have been a lot of events in the past that have caused markets to become atypical. Now, back when we saw the major housing crisis, 2008, 9, 10, and 11, what ended up happening is we saw what would be the market low. Now, where is the market high? Nobody knows, but what we do know is that we did see prices at a relatively elevated point up until what would have been about 2 months ago. Now, you have a lot of folks that are in the industry as real estate professionals. You have a lot of folks out of the industry, but everybody thinks they're an expert in real estate, and everybody seems to think that they can predict the future. The joke in the industry is don't wait to buy real estate. It's buy real estate and wait. Over the course of a 10 to 12 year period, typically if you purchase a single family residence, you will have that property increase in value over a 10 to 12 year period based on typical real estate market cycles. Now, in some atypical real estate markets, you don't actually see that happen, or you see that elevation and price point increase dramatically over the course of a short period of time, like you wouldn't necessarily see in a typical real estate market. Right now, everybody is speculating about what prices are going to do. Are they going to go up? Is the market going to completely crash? If you've been looking into interest rates at this point, you see that they've been fluctuating up and down. They've hit historic lows. They've risen back up. They still remain relatively low. Usually the relationship between home prices and interest rate complements each other in one direction or another. The market tends to correct itself in regard to home prices and interest rates. But right now, everybody seems to be looking into their little crystal ball and making assumptions or speculations as to what home prices are going to do. If I was considering buying now, should I wait? Is the market going to tank? If I was looking at selling now, should I sell right now? Are we at the top of the market? Should I wait? Is demand going to go way up? Hey, here's the deal. History repeats itself, and unfortunately, nobody knows exactly what home prices are going to do. You can look at a couple of key indicators in the bond market and in your local marketplace with the local state of the economy as far as what you think may happen. But overall, what you need to understand about the coronavirus and how it can affect the real estate industry is the following. You need to understand that a lot of people right now are in escrow. A lot of people right now are in situations where they're moving from out of state into a new marketplace, and they need to do so quickly. They need to close on a home. What you have to understand right now is that businesses are closing. We don't know if transportation via rail or sea or air is going to be completely shut down. Domestically, internationally, we don't know if offices are going to be shut down. We don't know if our finance professionals on the mortgage lending standpoint, banking, are going to be working. We don't know if title professionals are actually going to be able to follow through and help get their escrows closed. We don't know if home sellers are going to be revoking listings. We don't know if buyers are going to be able to fulfill on their obligations to basically close on properties and move and get where they're going. What's going to happen, I would say almost inevitably, is that timelines, close of escrow dates, inspection periods, they are going to become moving targets, moving forward for the foreseeable future. And what that may mean to you if you're considering a transaction in the near term is that you have to see where you're at risk and you have to see where your strength is inside of the transaction. What do I mean? I mean that some things are going to be out of your control. If people get sick, if people are not coming into work, if people go dark, who are handling your escrow, if a seller, if a buyer falls out of contract simply because they can't fulfill or perform, those are all things that are out of your control. But what you can control is just making sure that you're working with diligent professionals that understand it's important to stay calm during these times and who are ultimately going to advise you one step at a time throughout the process and be very hyper communicative with the other professionals involved in your transaction to try to make sure that deadlines are met accordingly and that your transaction runs smoothly. Now, what they're ultimately saying is that a situation like this, what is now being called a pandemic, a global crisis, a state of emergency, it's going to bankrupt more people than it will kill due to the illness actually making them sick. And what they're talking about are things just like what may happen with the real estate market. All of a sudden, people have budgeted, people have put together strategic financial plans based on certain contingencies and certain things happening. And all of a sudden, those timelines may be pushed back. All of a sudden, holding costs or different costs associated with the timeline to get into a new home or to have a home sell may be dramatically increased from what you anticipated. And ultimately, that drives anticipated costs up. So the thing to do throughout this is stay calm, make sure you stay compliant with your local regulations and policies, stay plugged into the news with as credible of sources as you think you can trust. Talk to people locally if you can, stay in close communication with your friends, family, certainly people in the area where you may be moving, and all we can do is try to help each other. Keep in mind, you've got to have some patience, and there may be some things that pop up that are out of everyone's control. Just try to stay relaxed, and we'll get through this thing. All right, hey, I hope that was helpful. As always, thank you for stopping by the channel. Like and subscribe if you found this information valuable. I come out with new stuff every week. This was one that I thought I just had to get out just for everybody who's in the marketplace of buying or selling right now. Important, obviously relevant information. But by any means, if you have any questions about the real estate market, make sure you call me. All my information is going to be in this video. Send me a carrier pigeon, call, text, or email. I can't wait to talk to you soon.